welcome to Guardians of Tyr. My name is Barry, and in today's episode I'm going to be talking about Order Pauper decks. So for those of you who don't know what I mean by Pauper, well, every card will be a common card, so they're readily available, they're cheap, and if you've opened some boosters, the chances are you have these cards already. The good thing is they can make a good alternative to the Order starter deck if someone is looking to get into the game. So without further ado, let's get on with the champions. So we've got two Lokian Princes. He ignores rend from opponents' units opposite, which in this build is quite important, plus his quests are pretty quick to go through. These are the champions we should be concentrating on to get the quests completed first. Then we have the Knight of Zeros. This champion gives units adjacent to it rend, so combined with Lokian Prince we have rend for our units and we take away rend from our opponents. The important thing to remember about Knight of Zeros is that he only gives rend to adjacent units if he's disengaged, so if he doesn't control a unit. Plus, like Lokian Prince, his quests are easily completed. Lord Veritant, a wizard. Some might say why. He's there for two reasons: to carry on the theme of the deck, and at a pinch he can place a beast unit so he can maintain some tempo. I wouldn't recommend trying to complete his quests on him though, as you should be concentrating on the other three champions. You start at 27 health, which is a little low, but it is what it is. You just have to play smart and build smart. The way I've got them set out here is the way I prefer to play. The Lokian Prince is either side of the Knight of Zeros, with Lord Veritant hanging out to the side. When setting up, deploy Lokian Prince first. This may make your opponent think you have the Elf Beast build. There is another champion you could include, which is a common, and he's the Protector Prime. This would be giving you some more damage resilience with the build, but everyone you include comes at a price of another -2 health. Plus the Protector Prime's quests are a little harder to complete than the three warrior champions we have here. So let's get on with the blessings. Swift Judgment. Who doesn't like this blessing? 4 damage to your opponent, and if timed correctly, when your champion is disengaged, you get the full effect of 9 damage. Divine Blast, 6 damage and 2 health, so this has an 8-point swing, yet another really strong blessing. Healing Storm, providing 9 health over the course of 4 corners. This card has the ability to keep you in the long games. And lastly, we have Blessed Weapons. This is the main damage dealing blessing. It gives you a huge 10 extra damage over the course of its clunky rotations, which if you're lucky you can do in pretty much 2 turns. So in total our blessings have the potential of providing up to 25 extra damage and 11 health over the course of the game. Now that's if we're lucky enough to get them all out, but as I said, you're going to have a hard time completing all the quests, especially on Lord Veritant. Now to the bread and butter of the deck, the units. 3 Achelian Barrier Guard. I think this card's the best reducer in the game. Timed well can take the sting out of most decks. This is the first elf card required on the 4th quest of the Lokian Prince champion. 3 Alpha Gryph Chargers. This is the only beast in the deck, so at a push you can use it for Lord Veritant's quest, but it's best used opposite a champion who is 7 cost or more. This increases its damage from 3 to 6 over its duration in play. Next, 3 Paladin Decimators. This is your main damage dealing card, deals an increasing amount of damage, it's a great utility card, and it's just play and forget. 3 Paladin Protectors, the second of our damage reducing cards, and like the Achelian Barrier Guard can take the sting out of decks. This one will provide an extra turn of protection and stop adjacent units from being removed. 2 Strike Force Liberators. Another card with the damage multiplier with the potential to deal 7 damage, however your opponent needs to be over 20 health for this multiplier to be in effect. It's a good card to have in your opening hand, but its effectiveness is reduced the longer the game goes on. Lastly, we have 3 Sweeping Namati Thralls. This is the second of our elf cards required for Lokian Prince's 4th quest. It's another damage multiplier card, and most players deploy low cost champions on either flanks, so it's perfectly suited to not only complete the elf's quest, but to get the most damage out of it. So now on to abilities and spells. 2 Opportunity Strikes, 2 damage rising up to 5 if your opponent doesn't have a unit in play. Pretty much all of you should be familiar with this card. 2 Jaws of Death. So this is a bit janky, as you only have 3 cards that this can trigger off. Plus can only be played with a warrior, so if your Lord Veritant is commanding an Alpha Gryph Charger, he can't play the ability. But as I said before, Lord Veritant's not really going to complete his quests, but in a push, if opposite a champion that costs 7 or more, you can play an Alpha Charger to get the most out of it. Next, 3 Triumphant Smash. Every deck has to have removal, and this is one of the best in the game. Timed correctly, you can get more damage out of your units, or get some extra damage reduction if played when you've got a Paladin Protector or Achelian Barrier Guard. 3 Piercing Shots. This rounds out the abilities for the deck and continues the theme of rend damage that the deck is potentially able to deal to your opponent. And lastly, a spell. 3 Righteousness. It's the only spell in the deck, and it continues the theme of damage reduction. With the deployment of the champions, it is underutilised, but with the amount of damage reducing cards you have, you can overlap your protection, and this card is akin to an Achelian Barrier Guard. It just deals its damage quicker. So there you have the deck in all its glory. It's mainly focused towards dealing rend damage and damage reduction, with units having damage multiplier abilities which make them greater than their parts. The most important question is, how does it play? We shall see the answer to that in the next segment. And here we are. So this is the Pauper build versus the Archaon boss battle. So I'm going to set my champions up in the deployment that I showed you at the beginning of the video. So Knight of Zeros sits between their Lokian princes. He gives rend to them, and the Lokian princes take rend away from units opposite, with Lord Veritant being on the outer edge. So I can put my Alpha Charger out. If we put him against this Lord of Change or Kairos Freight Weaver, he's going to do extra damage, so pop him in for 2. So we're getting the most out of that Alpha Charger as we can. So the Archaon deck's got lots of healing going on at the moment. So we can deploy the Liberators. So that will do its damage multiplier, and then we will do the Triumphant Smash to get rid of that Bloodletter pack, so it reduces the healing from those units that are there. Okay, so instead of healing for 3 with these cards, he's only healed for 1 each. There we go, so he's popping some more in, and they're removing units as they go. Okay, you know, it's against the computer, but it's still a good test because it's a boss battle. So the Strikeful Liberators dealt extra damage because Archaon had over 20 health. So we've put our protectors in to reduce the damage from these cards that are there. Insatiable Blood Reavers and the Flow of Chaos. So another Insatiable Blood Reaver going in. So he's doing plenty of damage and plenty of healing at the moment. So it's whether or not we can contain it and bring ourselves through. So 4 damage from the Liberators. Righteousness goes into play. So that's going to deal some damage, and it's going to reduce the damage from that Insatiable Blood Reaver. So no damage caused from the Insatiable Blood Reaver because of the Paladin Protectors and Righteousness. Arcane Bolt going in for Archaon. I've got quite a few of mine leaving play. So I'm already on the last quest for my Lokian Prince. I want this card gone in front of it just in case I get Swift Judgment. But I can concentrate on the other cards. So another Flow of Chaos. So we could put our Alpha Charger out onto our Lord Veritant, but we'll put the Achelian Barrier Guard into play. So take the sting out of this Arcane Bolt. Opportunity Strike to hit his second quest, and then when the Barrier Guard rotates next turn, I will hit its third quest. I've got an elf in play, so I can play it on either side. There we go. So last quest for the Loking Prince. Swift Judgment, 9 damage. Let's even things up a bit. Okay, he only deals the 1 damage because he's not against a unit that costs 2 or less. The Strike Force Liberators is not the greatest card to pull now because Archaon's under 20 health. He's getting rid of a few of my units. So we'll put the Alpha Griff Charger into play. Probably best off going against with Lord Veritant because I know I'm going to strike for 2 there. I don't really want to put it against Archaon because if he removes it, he draws a card. Blood for the Blood God, so he's going to get some health back. So he's pulled ahead again. But considering the amount of damage this Archaon boss deals, I've actually managed to reduce quite a lot of it. So Opportunity Strike, it's got no units. I'll put a unit down first on my Knight of Zeros. I should probably do Opportunity Strike. It's got no units, so I'll strike for 5. I'll deal damage next turn on that, so that'll be its 3rd quest done. So he's going to have 3 health left after my attack. And I shall finish him off with Righteousness. Oh, it just sounds so good, doesn't it? There we go. Archaon boss battle done. So next up, we are not going to play the AI this time. We are going to go into casual play and see how it performs here. So here we go. I am first player. I shall put out my Loking Prince first. So it keeps my opponent guessing on what build I've got. My opponent's playing order as well. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay, so they've got a Liberator Prime. So if I get my Sweeping the Marty Thralls on my Loking Prince, it's going to do extra damage there. There we go. So he's got Vander's Hammerhand. So I'll put my Knight of Zeros out. I'll put my Loking Prince out. And then see what he's got. So we got the Celestant Prime build and another Liberator. So his champions shouldn't rotate faster than mine. My quests are more intuitive than the quests on my opponent's side. So we can start with an Opportunity Strike, but we really want to play a unit first. So Sweeping the Marty Thrall is going to deal 2 because he's against a champion that costs 2 or less. We'll do Opportunity Strike. So 2 quests done on the Loking Prince. Next time that Sweeping the Marty Thrall rotates, I shall hit its 3rd quest. So Loking Princes are so fast at getting their quest done. So Celestant Prime does his heroic act, draws a card, play a card. There we go. So Disruptive Liberator, so he's stopping me from concentrating on my other Loking Prince. 2 damage again. There we go, 1 quest to go. And I draw my quest card that's needed. So 1 damage from that Liberator. Disruptive Liberator. Celestant Prime does his heroic act. So I used to play the build up above, but yeah, it doesn't complete his quest very fast. So Long Strike Raptor's going in. So if I don't deploy opposite, then it's going to deal 4 damage. I don't really want to deploy opposite. But it's kind of forcing my hand a little bit. He hasn't got any damage reducers, so it's not too bad. So realistically, I want that Alpha Griff over by the Celestant Prime. So first damage reducing card. So 4 damage coming my way from my opponent's units. 2 from the Disrupted Liberator and 2 from the Long Strike Raptor. Celestant Prime hits his heroic again. So, true to form, Celestant Prime players are going to smash this first action, and then they're generally going to play a card. So Hurricane Raptor's going into play, so he's blocking off me from completing my quest. I can't concentrate on my other Loki imprints at the minute because of that Disruptive Liberator. So I shall just draw 2. He's only going to deal 2 damage to me next turn. There we go, Hurricane Raptors. Celestant Prime, that's a surprise. Okay, so it's whether or not he's got another Hurricane Raptor or Disruptive Liberator. There we go. So he's stopping me from doing my units, getting my quests. He's seen the danger of those guys. There we go. So Piercing Shot, complete the second quest. Bam. Just got to deal damage. I should have really done that last turn, and then I've hit the third quest with my Alpha Griff Charger. He's winning slightly. If he doesn't put anything against the Loki imprints, then I shall put out my Sweeping the Marty Thrall. Let's see what happens. I'm going to take 2 damage from that Liberator in a minute. So that's why I'm hovering over that Paladin Protector. So Hurricane Raptor goes in. So he's still protecting that left-hand channel of mine, or left-hand lane. So there we go. Hit the next quest. 3 Ren damage. Put the Protector out. Let's see what I get. Hopefully it's not Swift Judgment. There we go. Healing Storm. 3 health back. So that's going to keep me in the fight. So he may have stopped my Loki Princes, but I've been given enough time to get my Knight of Zeros off and completely blunted my opponent's attack that turn. So is Celestant Prime going to do his first action? No, Paladin Decimate is going in. Okay, that's a bit of a waste, but never mind. Does Vandus' quest, so he'll get his blessing off next turn for Vandus. Potentially he could have waited a turn for that. So 2 health back from Healing Storm. Draw 2 cards. I'm going to take 1 damage, and then we're going to see what this blessing is. No, there we go. What does he get? So he's got Swift Judgment. Yeah, this is great. Okay, so yeah, I'm up against it again. Celestant Prime for his first action. What does he lay now? So I have got 4 damage reducing cards in my hand. No, 3 damage reducing cards in my hand. So let's get my quest done. So cool. So I've got Swift Judgment. There we go. Touche. Let's try and concentrate on these other two now. So we get a Paladin Protector out. Blunt his attack. Could have put that on the Lokian Prince to just rotate him round a little bit. He did a Triumphant Smash to activate the blessing on the Liberator, but the Protector Prime stopped the Sweeping the Marty Thrall from being removed. Looks like Divine Blast. So I've -2 damage of that, and he's gained 2 health. That was a good blessing to get at that time. Get another 2 health back thanks to Healing Storm, so that's that done. Paladin Protector completely nerfs my Sweeping the Marty. We'll put my Echelon Barrier Guard out to blunt the attack of that Paladin Decimator. There we go. So no damage at all. If you put something in front of that Liberator Prime, then I shall Triumphant Smash it to complete its second quest on the Lokian Prince. So we're not doing too bad. Our damage reducers have really pulled us back into this game since the since Divine Blast and Swift Judgment's gone on. So another Paladin Decimator. So steady damage coming from our opponent. There we go. Quite a bit of damage from me. Got him down to 2. I'll put my Paladin Decimator out. I could have put my Achillean Barrier Guard out, and then I would have potentially finished the game next turn. So I can put another Sweeping the Marty Thrall out, so that's going to give me steady damage on this left hand lane. Unless he pulls out a miracle, I've got this game. So I'm going to do 1 damage when the Paladin Decimator goes round. So always be nice. Always be nice to your opponent. You would in real life if you were playing face to face. There's no difference. There we go. 2 damage. Game. There we go. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed it. It's not the most OP deck in the world, but it's a good starter deck. It's a cheap deck to have, and it's well worth playing. It's lots of fun. Leave a comment, tell us what you think of it, and subscribe to the channel, and prepare for more games. Cheers guys, thank you, bye bye.